The morning was shattered by a hiss so sharp it cut through my coffee ritual like a knife. Not a snake, not my old espresso machine, but something feral, like the air itself, was screaming. I followed the sound, mug in hand, weaving past the hedge lining my driveway. There, in a blinding pink peony blouse, was Carol, hunched over a gas line marked with yellow caution tape and a metal tag that practically shouted, "Emergency feed, do not touch." She was attacking it with massive garden shears, her face twisted in a fury that suggested the pipe had spat in her face. "Carol, stop!" I yelled, my voice cracking. She didn't even blink. Instead, she looked up, her smile oozing smugness, and said, "This hideous pipe's tanking our property values. You're welcome." The sheer lunacy of her words hit me like a punch. Property values? This wasn't some faded lawn ornament, or a tacky mailbox. This was the main gas line feeding the backup generator that kept our neighborhood breathing during blackouts critical for old Mrs. Hensley's oxygen, little Timmy's ventilator, and with a storm season that could knock out power for days. My coffee mug slipped from my hand, shattering on the pavement as I sprinted toward her. The hiss grew louder, the air now thick with the acrid bite of gas. "What have you done?" I shouted, shovying her back. She rolled her eyes, muttering, "Men always overreact," as if I were the one unhinged. Carol hadn't just snipped a pipe, she'd lit a fuse under lives. I fumbled for my phone, hands trembling, and dialed the gas company. The operator's voice was ice cold. "Evacuate. Now." Within minutes, sirens wailed, and a hazmat crew spilled from a truck. Carol stood there, arms crossed, glaring like they were trampling her roses. When a technician explained she'd severed a high-pressure emergency line, her face paled, but she spun it like a politician. "If it's so important, why isn't it buried deeper?" she snapped. The crew chief, a weathered man who'd seen her kind before, didn't blink. "It's emergency infrastructure, ma'am. We need access. Like today." They capped the leak, but the generator's pressure was shot. Storm clouds rolled in, dark and vicious, and as rain pelted the streets, porch lights flickered out like dying stars. My phone buzzed with a neighborhood alert. The backup system was down. The group chat erupted. "Generators out? My mom's oxygen is low," one neighbor typed. "My kids' meds need refrigeration," wrote Sarah, her words dripping panic. I hesitated, then typed, "Carol cut the gas line this morning. I saw her." The replies exploded like a bomb. "Are you kidding? She did what?" My security cameras had caught it all: Carol's shadow on the sidewalk, her peony blouse swaying as she snipped the pipe with the flair of a grand opening. I backed up the footage to 3 drives, knowing this was no small thing. The storm hammered us that night, streetlights dead, silence suffocating the neighborhood. Emergency services checked on vulnerable homes, their flashing lights painting the street red. Lightning split the sky, and I knew Carol's meddling wasn't just annoying, it was deadly. By morning, the damage was clear: fallen branches, flooded basements, and a group chat on fire. Mrs. Hensley's stair lift had stranded her mid-climb. Sarah's son's insulin spoiled. A kid on a feeding pump was rushed to a hospital across town. These weren't annoyances, they were life or death. At 10 a.m., HOA President Tom called an emergency meeting. Carol sauntered in, clad in cream slacks and a lavender sweater, clutching a coffee mug like she was at a knitting circle. The clubhouse, humming on a separate generator, was packed with furious residents. Tom tried to call it technical issues, but someone shouted, "Cut the nonsense! We know what happened!" The crowd roared. I plugged my laptop into the projector. "I've got footage," I said. The room fell silent. On the screen, Carol's pink figure bent over the pipe, shears flashing. The snip rang out, followed by that awful hiss. No one breathed. Even Carol froze, her eyes glued to her own crime. When the video ended, the room erupted: shouts, accusations, threats. One woman demanded the HOA cover her medical bills. Another cursed over water damage from a failed sump pump. Carol stood, raising a hand like a queen silencing peasants. "Let me speak," she said, and the room quieted, more from shock than respect. "I didn't know the pipe mattered," she began, her voice syrupy. "No one told me. I thought it was for a barbecue or something. It was hideous, clashing with the aesthetic I've upheld for years." A man laughed, bitter and loud. "Upheld? You're not our overlord." Carol flushed but doubled down. "The real issue is bad labeling. If it was critical, why wasn't it underground? I acted for the neighborhood's good." The air turned to ice. "You endangered lives," someone growled. "People could have died," another said louder. Tom, shaken, took the floor. "Tampering with utilities is a crime. The city's investigating." Carol's smirk cracked. I added, "I helped design that generator grid. That pipe was city-approved, not an eyesore." Sarah stood, voice shaking. "My son nearly died. My lawyer says this is reckless endangerment." Others chimed in, and Carol, sensing the mob, grabbed her purse and slipped out, muttering about overly sensitive neighbors. The city's investigation dug deeper. That pipe wasn't just for our generator, it fed a school and an emergency shelter. Carol's snip was a federal violation. Then came the kicker. Behind her fence, hidden by shrubs, was a van stuffed with stolen city property, traffic cones, signs, even a solar speed detector from the school zone. A contractor, Mike, said Carol fired him for refusing to move a utility box that clashed with her landscaping. The city found she'd also disabled leak sensors in a junction box. An inspector whispered, "This isn't ignorance. It's sabotage." Carol emailed a rambling defense, claiming she was targeted and had every right to beautify public property. The neighborhood wasn't buying it. The HOA server crashed from the flood of replies. At a second meeting, residents voted to boot Carol from all HOA roles. She stormed out, toppling a potted fern, a perfect symbol of her downfall. Repairs began, steel guards encased the pipeline, and the city funded upgrades. But trust was harder to mend. Carol had betrayed us, valuing vanity over safety. Local news caught wind, and a reporter staked out Carol's house. What began as an HOA feud became a saga of public safety violations and theft. The fire department confirmed the gas line's role in a city-wide emergency network Carol's cut could have paralyzed disaster response. The utility company fortified every pipe, adding motion-activated cameras with signs taunting, "Smile for safety." Under new HOA President Ellen, a retired fire chief, we formed an emergency committee and greenlit long-rejected ideas: a community garden, a free library. A ribbon cutting for the reinforced generator featured peony-colored ribbons, a jab at Carol's blouse. The mayor shook my hand for averting catastrophe. Carol vanished behind closed blinds, her porch lights dark, her car untouched. Whispers spread, felony theft charges, a court date, maybe prison. Her house was probed for illegal modifications, and the van was linked to a fake company. One night she sped off, flanked by paralegals, never looking back. The community whiteboard read, "Carol's gone, possibly for good." Residents snapped photos, grinning. By summer, the neighborhood bloomed: porch swings, fairy lights, even a duck-shaped mailbox Carol would have banned. A mural of a proud generator blocking petty tyrants adorned the community center, scissors painted as its foe. The fire department gifted a plaque, "For those who value safety over appearances." Ellen found Carol's rejected proposals ideas she'd asked for not fitting her. VY Shaun. I joined a committee to re-VYV them. Carol's chaos had forged us stronger, not because of her, but in spite of her. Her name became a warning. Don't go full Carol. As I watered my garden, I grinned at the generator's new sign. This line Sir VY Ved Carol. It wasn't just about the pipe. It was about us.